Hey everybody, this is Mike at ASR Outdoors. Welcome to the Backyard Bushcraft series. Today we're going to be setting up a Polish Lavuu. Never done this before, not even sure how you do it, but we're going to set one of them up. This series is going to be one that will evolve into many different aspects of camping. Things that you can practice while you're out and about, not things that you go out and then practice when you're out there. You should know some of these skills in case you do get into a scenario to where you just really need to know it and you don't need to learn it while you're there. So come along with me. It's nothing spectacular out here. It's just my backyard, a residential area. We're in the country, but it's still a suburban residential area, so to speak. But I think that it'll be something that you'll be able to pick up a few little tips and tricks, and it'll also help me be able to practice when I can't get out there. Plus, it'll give me an opportunity to show off some of those knives that we make here at Hawk & Wolf Knives. So if you've ever been wanting to purchase one of them and you've just always wondered how well they work and perform, this would be a good series for you to stick around and watch, because you'll see a lot of them. So come along with me and let's set this thing up and see where we're at. All right, we have this thing pulled out. Edited this video part into it due to my neighbor's beagles going crazy at feeding time. But this is a large size Lavuu, but it won't be once we get it set up, so stick around. All right, so what we have here is just some metal tent pegs. I use the metal ones. They're about 1/4 inch thick. They're light, but for today's purpose, we're going to be using these. But later in the series, you'll see how you can make your own a lot quicker than you thought you could, and not have to spend a lot of time whittling in a carpet. So stick around for some of those videos that will be coming up later on as well. But let's go ahead and get this tent peg stuffed in the ground and see where we're at. Just see how everything's going to set up, because this is the first time we've set it up. So come on. I'll start by what I think we need to do. Just put one tent peg here, and then we're going to start pulling this thing and stretching it out and work our way around, but not completely out. So what we have here is a hiking stick. Now I carry one of these pretty much all the time when I go. A lot of times I'll just make one while I'm at camp. Sometimes I carry one. This is just one that I've been working on, just playing with it, doing a little carving and stuff. But we're going to stick that in the center and see how it holds itself up, so we can see. Now eventually there'll be a ridge line cut across with a tarp over it, and this thing will be tied into that. But for tonight, we just need to hurry up and get a camp set up. So hold on. Not what I anticipated. Again, fail. Just like that, guys. See, guys, sometimes it's better to practice before we get out there, because you don't always know what it's going to be like when you get ready to set it up. Say you only had 30 minutes before a big storm was fixing to come in, and you could feel the raindrops on you already. Guess you just put this thing on for its intended purpose and just lay there until in the morning, right? Or know what size pole you need to get put into it. If you look at the height that we have this at, this doesn't leave very much room inside of this. And it shouldn't be, sorry about that, it shouldn't be my height. It should be about my chest, because this and this is going to give me that much more space inside of it. So we need to lower it down, because here it means I'm going to be balled up into a joint. So let's cut this off. Now that I have it marked from the inside, we're going to take that much off of this stick. So hang tight. Take this and stick it inside, and there's a little flap that goes in, and then to keep it rain from coming in, pull the other one over, attach it under. If any rain comes up, it'll come out the other side of it. So now let's adjust these tent pegs back out. There, buddy. Let's start on that corner. Let's get this one in. There we go. Now, adjust this camera for you. Alright guys, after setting this thing up multiple times, seeing how it works, what it needs to do to work, I have come to the conclusion this setup here is the way that I would want it. I'm a lean-to type shelter person anyway. The flaps give me more open view for more heat to come in, although by closing it here and here still allows a draft. This particular one here would need to be pulled in. You can get this thing set up however you want. I'm going to leave it this way because I choose to have it open for some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing in this series. But all in all, there's plenty of room in there. I don't know the actual dimensions, but I'll get that for you, and I'll put it somewhere up in here of how much space that you actually have in this. All right, now I'm not a very good camera person holding this stuff, so we're gonna walk you up in here and give you an idea of what we have inside. This is the space that we have, and I'm gonna put a tarp down inside of it so that I'll be able to, but I'm not gonna cover the whole thing. I'm gonna fold my tarp in half. I want my sleeping quarters to be protected. This part up here, I'm gonna leave open. You can, but with a pole in the middle, you're going to poke a hole in your tarp. Eventually, it's just going to wear into it. Later, we'll show you some other things that you can do without having to do that. All right, as you can see, there's plenty of room in there for my gear. There's plenty of room in there for me. And to be honest with you, it gives you better protection unless you use a plow point tarp setup than just using a regular one to give you plenty of room. So let's go inside of it and just see, so you can kind of see. I mean, you have plenty. If you had a little fire, you was just waiting the rain out, and this is what you had in a tarp, and you got lots of wind. This and a tarp would be a perfect setup. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around and watching this. It's nothing spectacular. Each little thing is just going to be small segments of things that you can practice, things that you can do, and maybe make you more mental aware of some things that you should be doing while you're out at home. Always thinking about the best way to do something before you have to do it. it makes it a whole lot better and an emergency. Now you can think about before you go and do it, and then practice it in a non-emergency, and then when the emergency comes, if it ever does, you'll be prepared. And that's what I wanted you to do in this backyard series, is just give you some little things. You notice how I kind of gave you a little bit inside of it, like, oh, you need a stick this high, you can use it. It doesn't work. I learned that with this. My first thing, and that was a reenactment, but yes, my first thing was, yes, that's exactly what I did when I got out here the first time to set it up. I was like, I'll take my hiking sticks with me. Well, it's going to be a short hiking stick now, isn't it? Or you could use trekking poles as well for this here, or you can bunch it up, and we'll get into some of that as well later on. But we are going to take this out for a couple of days, see how it really works after we learn how to keep it warm on the inside with an open fire. Do we need a tarp over the top? Is it weather resistant for rain, or do we need to protect ourselves more with another tarp with it if we take it out? Now, if that's the case, you'll see later on in the video, I'd just soon to go ahead and make a plow point with a good rainproof tarp and not carry this extra weight. But this was something that I wanted to try out. Friend of mine gave it to me, and it's something you could put in a stash sack, and we'll talk about that later on down in the road in the series, so that it'll be something that you might want to stick around with. So guys, I appreciate every one of your views. I appreciate each and every one of you watching, all the comments. I love them. Thank you. And let's see if we can't load these up on Sunday and Wednesday, one each day. So you have a good one, and I'll catch you guys on another video.